So much like I get so much like what is it? Female version of Rambo content coming up, and I'm just like, why? I don't want this. Alright, guys, welcome back to Let's Play Modded Minecraft. This is going to be episode 8 in our series, or is this episode 7? I can't remember. I'll post that in the video title whenever we're done. I've made too many of these videos because I'm trying. My problem is I'm tackling two YouTube series at once. I'm tackling Cathedral Build and Let's Play Modded Minecraft at the same time. So it's like Cathedral Build just dropped episode 7. This is episode 8. I remember now. This is episode 8. I'm done. But yeah, boys. In this video, basically the goal is going to be to go over to that pillager outpost, and we are going to clear out a lot of the structures on the inside and start turning that into a suitable base. Because this house is kind of small, and also I'm going to use that new base as a launching point to start exploring more out that direction instead of just being stuck by my home. So let's head over there, and we'll turn all these fields into different crops. And not only different crops, but yeah, they'll have different crops and stuff. And then I'm going to be completely refurbishing the inside of the base and turning that into a base. Alright, let's get up to the top of this tower so I can lay in that bed for a second so that I can actually, so I can actually, if I accidentally die, I can get out of here and still be here. Also, for some reason, it's still registering that there are several mobs here. I have no idea where they are, but they're here somewhere. Okay. What I'm probably going to do is I'm just going to kind of do a top-down thing. I'm going to clear out this top portion up here and level out this dome at the top. And then I'll work down to next floor, just clearing stuff out, making it more roomy instead of all clustered together. But this is going to be a big base, and not only is it going to be a big base, but I am going to enjoy living here. I also need to go on a hunt and try and find out where all these mobs are, because as you can see on the mini-map, there's several mobs, and I have...
Oh, that looks illegal.
That looks illegal. That shouldn't be natural for Minecraft. A G Fuel? That the beef jerky? Yes, sir. Who needs G Fuel when you got beef jerky? Alright, that is the first floor done for now. Let's go ahead and brighten the place up a little bit. Don't want any mobs spawning up here. Alright, next we're going to go to the lower floor and kind of do the same thing. This floor is going to be open, so like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to turn this all glass, or try and glass this in. That way I can kind of have a dome up here, or I might leave it open. I don't know yet. We'll see. See, like, let's just go down and see what we're dealing with. Might make a little floor there. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make this into a little floor right here. This can be a floor. I thought a trailer had come out. I didn't know the whole thing had released yet. Alright, boys, we are going to need some. Really? That doesn't feel right though. Dang, that's cool. I'm gonna have to go watch all the old ones because I never really got to watch John Wick growing up. Yeah. The boys meet up and go watch John Wick 4. Theater vlog? Theater vlog? Look, forget the money. We're gonna have theater vlog. Bro, we're all college students, so we get student discounts. All of our tickets are like $2 cheaper if we go to the AMC in Conyers. This is also weird. A weird observation. I think some mobs have like ranging healths. Like you'll have a pillager that will be like really weak. Then you'll have another pillager that'll just take you forever to kill. So I think that might be something in this. But you're not supposed to be there. I legitimately like parkour and built my way all through this thing when I first came through. Alright, this can be the next room. This will actually probably become my bedroom area. I'll go ahead and do that. I'm gonna break all this. And then this. Once I break all this, I can turn this into, my bedroom. Put my bed right there. I can already see the vision, guys. Let's go. And then I can break this up and place a chandelier on that. Yay! So that's gonna be a cool bedroom. Now down here. Down here needs a lot of work. And I'm just gonna go ahead and break all this because it's kind of like an eyesore. For that next cool build that's gonna wow audiences and then impress myself. Also, let's go ahead and switch out these slabs with blocks. It is really laggy in here. What's a good block I can set in? We are having a really laggy video today. Alright, let's mine some new cobblestone. That way I can get out of this hole without using my woods, and then also fill in some holes. Alright, now we are on the bottom level. I'll just do like that for now. Because no, like for real, I came in here and it was full blown war from the moment I stepped in. Looking good right now. Alright, now that that's like that, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to start mining these barrels and take them downstairs. Yo, Ash. I missed a chest when I looted this place, and it had the most goated pants. Projectile protection 2 and protection 2. I could have so used that while I was raiding this place. With all the pillagers and zombies coming, and I had a pair of pants with like reindeer sky enchantment on. I don't even know what reindeer sky is. Okay, that's all the barrels from up here. Let's move them all down here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break you and you. I'm just going to have that like that. And all my stuff. Well, that was a bad idea. Ash, I saw a button labeled termination. I saw a button with a sign above it that said termination. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh, that could be interesting. Pressed the button, blew up the whole side of the base. Like, just, it was a whole bomb system. It was, and so, like, it just went in there and, like, blew so much stuff up. Good, how are you? Oh, yeah. I didn't come to campus on Thursday. We got the day off from Miss Garcia. We had an exam due on Thursday, and so she was just like, oh, just don't even bother coming in. Yeah. Court? That's interesting. How'd the weekend go? Oh yeah, honestly know the feeling. Credits. And I don't know if it was the computer class or the accounting. I can't remember which one it was either. But yeah, it's been an interesting, just long weekend. Just, still trying to move into my grandma's house. Just 2 cars collided in front of me and the tire launched off a car and hit my home. Yeah, that's an interesting story that needs some more discussion. So basically, I'm sitting on this road. I'm getting ready to turn on the interstate, and just my own business, sitting in the turning lane, and then all of a sudden, I just lean over to my right side, and I just hear the skirt from when the tires were. And so I turn over, and I watch the 2 cars collide. One was coming too fast down the interstate, and the other one just saw a narrow little window. It's like, oh, I can thread the gap and get in there. And so I watched the car coming too fast down the interstate plow right into the guy that tried to thread the needle. And then the guy that was threading the needle went into spinning out. And when he was spinning, I watched the brake assembly and the tire launch off his car and start flying towards my truck. So I just went in fetal position on my seat and, felt the tire and everything hit my truck, felt my truck lean up and then pop back down. And then, it was a big 5-car accident. Like, I got hit with the tire. The car behind me got all scraped up and cracked windshields and stuff from all the glass and shrapnel flying off the one car. And then, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, the car that threaded the needle that was spinning out, he spun out into another car that was sitting in another turning lane, getting ready to merge onto the interstate on the opposite direction of what I was. And so it was a big accident. And so I felt bad for him because it was just a young guy that had caused the accident. Like, you could see him because he realized that, like, I created this accident and I'm gonna have to pay for every bit of it because he caused the accident. It wasn't anything that any of us did, but because he caused the accident, he's got to pay for everything. And so his insurance is about to go up, and so you could just see it on his face. There was the group that was just huddled up, talking about how sore and hurt they were, and their cars just got the shrapnel and spun out into. And then there was the other group that was checking if everyone was all right. Just me sitting beside my truck waiting for my mom to pull up. And there's just the one guy that caused it all, just face palm, just looking like he's about to just bust into tears sitting on the sidewalk. And so yeah, it was a interesting, yeah, I've been in I think I've been in 2 wrecks officially. If I don't call like, say the ones that, like, my parents were in that I've been in the car with, like, someone bumped into the back of their car or whatever. But, like, there was that one with that incident, and then another one. I was actually leaving campus, and I was getting ready to merge onto I-20 and start headed home when I was sitting in the turning lane, and someone just didn't slow down the turning lane and just hit right into my rear bumper. Like, I'm sitting there just getting ready to turn on I-20, and then just someone just flat out rear ends me, and I'm just sitting there just like, I'm literally not even moving. Where did you come from? And so, but because my truck is so big, I was just like, my truck took no damage because I have a big truck with a big trailer hitch. So I got no damage, while, like, her whole front bumper was caved in and had a hole right where, like, my trailer hitch went right through that front bumper. And so I was just like, you've got to worry about it more than me. And she's like, yeah, don't worry about it. I already had a scratched up bumper and I was going to replace it anyway. And so we kind of just brushed it off and went our separate ways. Um, so that's just those two accidents. But like, the good thing about the big accident that I was in is my truck. Because it was just a truck bed that got hit. Like my door didn't get hit or anything. So my whole truck was basically, still operational. It wasn't broken or anything like that. So I was actually able to, get in my truck and drive home. While the two other cars had to get towed off. And so it's just me minding my own business, just hopping back in my truck and peeling out. And then there's just those two guys just sitting there, just sitting there waiting for the companies to pull up and take them home or pick up their vehicles. Oh, same. Going anywhere over spring break? Nice. Yeah, I don't got any plans for spring break, but my family's gonna go the week after spring break. We're gonna go up into the mountains. We're just gonna stay the weekend up there. Yeah, and so it's just a thing like that. And they should cover for me. The mechanic, he's usually good about covering for me, but I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, so like, I don't know, it's just like some of my coworkers, they can be nice and help me out, but there's that one that just he likes causing problems sometimes. And so, because the one that caused the problems is the dispatcher that like gets there in the morning. And so like I only had to come work evenings. And so this guy, he shows up like 8 o'clock in the morning, or not even 8 o'clock in the morning, earlier than that. He shows up early in the morning to come to work and do his thing, and he's there all day until 5 o'clock. And then it's like me doesn't have to show up until like, doesn't have to show up until 1 o'clock, and I'm there till closing. So like he's sitting there, and it's just he doesn't think it's fair sometimes to have to cover for me simply because he's there all day. And then like if I request off in the evening, it's like I'm not doing my job while he's had to show up and work all day. And so that's the only problem I run into at work when it comes to asking off. But usually I can get off depending on what. And so it can get frustrating, but you just kind of just deal with it. How's college been treating you this last week? Oh yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a write an essay for Miss Garcia's class. What is it? Miss Garcia's class. I need to do one on classical conditioning, which is, it's kind of like when you do something to inspire or like set a tendency or whatever. So like the example that we use is like I'm gonna use. She used William Lynch as the example guy, but I'm gonna